Is it appropriate for the International Automobile Federation to charge Formula One teams for each protest? Recently, drivers and teams have protested to the Federación Internacional del Automóvil over different issues. We're discussing regulations and race situations during and after the race. Of course, for 2026, the highest authority in motorsport has imposed the idea of charging a fee for each protest that is made. Greetings, I'm Matias Ocampo. In this video section, we're making for Falso Nueve Television with the Falso Nueve Television racing team. Greetings to Mr. Nacho Costasar and Mr. Lucas De Micheli. And what do you think, guys? Will the teams reduce the number of their protests because of the cost it could generate for them, or will they stay the same? First, greetings to Mr. Costasar, dear Nacho, and your face is already telling me everything.
How are you, Marty and Lucas? A hug. Let's see. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen on the team's part. Let's see. If this is obviously going to be a constant, teams will likely set aside at least a small amount of money for these situations, as it's obvious. Let's say we just finished a championship that was decided on the final match day. So it's a resource that, like in any sport, really, it happens in absolutely any sport. There are protests, that's true, sometimes more justified, sometimes less justified, more unjustified, but either way, there are definitely protests everywhere. The truth is that, at least I think that, I don't know, there's an intention from the Federación Internacional del Automóvil to try to put a stop to this a bit. This already happened with the radio communications issue, right? And the penalties for the drivers because of the radio communications. It's an intention from the Federación Internacional del Automóvil that clearly aims for a more family-friendly show, right? To try to avoid those kinds of situations, those kinds of protests, at least when it comes to radio communications. Now, the protests from the teams that you see, that you don't see, that you find out about from the outside, right? I think that honestly, yeah, I don't know. It's normal. Is it right? Is it not right? And letting protests go. And honestly, obviously, some want to be a bit stricter, others don't. The truth is, it's a decision from the Federación Internacional del Automóvil that anyone would normally make, right? But well, I don't know. It doesn't really seem extremely right to me, but it doesn't surprise me.
We're talking about amounts between 2,000 and 200,000 euros per protest, depending on the scale, right? Of course. And if, in case it's successful, that money would be reimbursed to the team that's making the protest. And if it doesn't go through, the money ends up, they would end up losing it. I think it's something quite, for me, it's something controversial. What can I say, guys? I don't know, Lucas, if you agree with me, but for me, it's a bit controversial. And also this point that I take that you mentioned, Nacho, also the fact that it's more for the family, something more family oriented.
It's a process, right? These new people have been running the Federación Internacional del Automóvil for a few years now. We won't name anyone controversial, but you get it. Like Nacho says, let's keep it family friendly. And it's a bit, look, the essence of Formula One has always been a bit about being wild, speed, adrenaline, the driver getting out of the car and insulting another because he's fired up. It's all part of the sport's adrenaline, right? I remember in 2021 when they introduced Federación Internacional del Automóvil transmissions, letting us hear everything with the teams. That was great until they removed it because people discovered all the behind-the-scenes complaints. It's kind of like hockey where you can complain, and if you have two valid complaints, they give it back to you and so on. At that point, you're not protesting anyone, just saying, hey, this isn't right, let's check. Now, you're protesting the Federación Internacional del Automóvil, which decides itself whether you're right or not, and decides whether it's going to charge you or not. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing neutral. You're complaining to the same person penalizing you. What are the chances that FIA would want to give you back those $200,000 you're offering her? It seems kind of strange to me. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't really make sense from that side. I always say during a race's adrenaline rush, expecting a team to think, I don't complain because they might sanction me or affect the budget. Honestly, I take it a bit out of the same context.
Yeah, I think it's also because of that. What you're saying is really good. Because obviously, In the heat of the race, you're not going to stop and think about whether to protest or not. Even though they might deduct the money, you'll still do it. I think in that, Nacho, you're right. Like you said, it's going to stay the same. Teams are going to keep protesting, no matter if they try to take the money away.
Yeah, look, I was just looking at this protest issue right now because also one thing, there are protests during the race, right? At least the drivers' comments. But from what I see, this issue with penalties and protests is mainly from the teams, right? And I think the issue has to do with what's happening now. And I think it can also be explained that way. Because we're facing a new regulation and we're in a situation where at this point the teams are trying to get as much of an advantage as possible in any aspect of the regulations, whether it's the engine or anything else. And this situation that's happening now with the engine issue, with the Mercedes engine issue, I think it's leading the teams to this. And I think this year is going to be a year of a lot of protests. It's going to be a year of a lot of complaints. Mainly because of this. Because we're in a set of regulations where any small advantage that teams can find or get from these rules, the other teams aren't going to like it. Obviously. That's why I think it also comes a bit from that side. The idea of charging, I think, or at least the idea of this, I charge you for protesting, but if the protest is valid, if it's checked, I mean, it's basically backed by a threat. Well, a threat. An ultimatum to say, hey, I'm going to charge you now if it turns out you were right. I'll give you your money back. It's not basically, I'll see if I give you your money back later. No, it's I'm going to charge you. You're protesting, so I'm going to charge you. I get strict, and then in any case, if I check and see that something was really wrong or outside the rules, I'll give you your money back, right? Obviously, but it's kind of like, how can I put it? A mortgage, right? I mortgage your money, and then if anything, I'll give it back to you.
Yes, I agree. That's true. If you want to add something to finish up,
Yeah. The only thing that bothers me about this is what happens with the protests, which are kind of left in the middle. For example, the one with the Mercedes engine, the complaint about compression differences, and so on. The Federación Internacional del Automóvil said yes, that it was obviously happening, but that they can't measure it. If I complain, will they refund my money or not? I was right in theory. But you're not going to take any action as the Federación Internacional del Automóvil to stop that, or you'll just make a deal with Mercedes to comply in a year and so on. What makes me doubt are those gray areas that open up once you start these kinds of things that we saw. I don't know if I think they're wrong. The only thing that bothers me is that also the decision of whether it's right or wrong is made by the Federación Internacional del Automóvil itself. It's kind of, I don't know, biased for now, but well.
we'll end the video here. Thanks to Mr. Nacho Costasari and Mr. Lucas De Micheli for joining me. Don't forget to leave your like and your comment since this is a pretty interesting topic to discuss. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Of course, remember on March 8th, the 2026 season starts at the Albert Park Circuit in Melbourne, Australia. And we'll be covering the whole season of Formula One here on Falso 9 Television. See you next time.